Hello there, here with a video. If I upload this on August to plan, it's February 29th and it's, only a leap year every 4 years, so I don't get to say that very often. Anyway, that's got absolutely nothing to do with the video. I'm going to be talking about a band that's a contemporary band, but if you listen to them you wouldn't think they were a contemporary band. They're sort of an indie band, I suppose, but in the proper sense of the word indie, not this hijacked version of the word these days. This band, the Lemon Twigs, this is their most recent album, Everything Harmony, that came out just last year. So I will show you this first. That there is the front cover of the album, which if you've seen that, you would think that's an album from the 60s or the 70s looking at that cover. Love the artwork. That is the back cover. And this is the sleeve, which has personnel and lyrics. I'm actually going to leave this out just because I'll be using it, I think, a bit during this video. There's also this thing in, which is like a photo card thing of the Lemon Twigs, of the brothers. Anyway, I shall put that on there. So, the Lemon Twigs. Who are the Lemon Twigs? You've maybe never heard of them. You maybe have if you're watching this video. If you haven't, check them out, because I've only just discovered them recently, and for me, basically what's been happening is online quite a bit recently. I've been seeing a lot of people say, listen to the Lemon Twigs, they're brilliant, and I am quite bad for hearing things like that and then getting told to listen to something and then never doing it. Yeah, I am bad for that. But what changed my mind with this was I seen a video, I think was it last week, from Elliot Roberts, a wonderful YouTuber. Like, his videos are out of this world compared to mine. But he did a video on this about why it was his album of the year last year. I watched that and I was like, nah, I need to listen to this album. And I am so pleased I did, because if I had heard this album last year, it would probably be my album of the year. And bear in mind, the Rolling Stones released a new album last year, Noel Gallagher released a new album last year, Blur released a new album last year. But this is, man, oh, what an album. And I've got another new one coming out this year in May, so excited for that. Anyway, the Lemon Twigs. Who are the Lemon Twigs? Well, they are two brothers, and their names, which I have, I'm not the biggest fan in the world yet, I'm still learning. So their names is Brian and Michael, oh god, D'Adrio, I think. D'Adrio. Yeah. So this album is their fourth album, I believe. They released their debut in 2016, and they released an album in 2018, and they released one in 2020, and then this one came out in 2023. And like I say, they are also releasing one later this year in May, I think, May time. Yeah, I'll be honest, at this point, at the time of recording this, I've not listened to their previous 3 albums yet. I have listened to the 2 singles off the upcoming album, so I'm going to go back and listen to those albums. But yeah, this one is apparently, from what I've been reading online, their best one. Obviously I'll confirm that once I've listened to all the other ones, but I've bought this album on vinyl, which goes to show how much I like it, because I only started listening to them about a week and a half ago, and yeah, they're incredible. And basically I was in HMV on Saturday, and I was looking through the records and I seen this one. I seen it and I was like, this is calling me, man. And I wasn't gonna buy it because I haven't got any money at the minute, basically. But confession time. There was quite a pretty girl on the till, so I wanted to buy the record just so I had an excuse to go and speak to her. I'm such a boy. So yes, I made myself quite poor for an excuse to talk to a girl. Not that anything happened, social anxiety and all that. But nevertheless, I managed to buy a great album out of it, because the vinyl, it sounds even better on vinyl. Anyway, I'm rambling, so I'm going to get into a proper background thing here. So this album, Everything Harmony, it was released on May 5th, 2023. It was recorded from January to October of 2021. It was recorded in Manhattan, San Francisco, and the band's own recording studio in New York City. In fact, it's maybe got the actual names of the studios on here. Recording at the Music Building, Midtown Manhattan. That was from January to September 2021. Then at Hyde Street Studios in San Francisco, that was September to October 2021. And then the album was mixed at the Lemon Twigs' own studio in New York in April 2022. So yeah, the band produced it themselves as well, which, you know, if you think it was a professional producer producing this one, I'll say a bit more when I get into the track by track review. But yeah, they've done a really good job. If I was an artist, I would want them to produce me because they're bloody good. 4 singles were released from this album: Corner of My Eye, Any Time of Day, In My Head, and Every Day is the Worst Day of My Life. The album itself, it has received pretty positive reviews from most review outlets out there. In terms of the charts, I don't know if this album charted. From what I read online, here in the UK on the midweek charts, it got in at, I think, 78, but I don't know if on the actual official chart, when it was announced that Friday, if it had even managed to make the top 100. And I've got to be honest, if it was up to me, this album would be number 1. It'd have been number 1. It would be the biggest thing of last year. I mean, it's quite tragic, really. I mean, Taylor Swift and the 1975 and Coldplay and stuff like that are all topping the charts, while stuff like this is going under the radar, which is, yeah, it's a bloody travesty. So this album itself and the band in general, the vibes of the album, it sounds very much sort of like the Beatles, Wings, Paul McCartney, a bit of the Beach Boys, the Bee Gees, Simon and Garfunkel, all that kind of thing. Basically, if you're into your 60s, 70s music, you'll probably like this album. Yeah, I mean, the band are obsessed with the Beatles. They openly admit to being obsessed with the Beatles. I'm obsessed with the Beatles. Of course I'm going to like a band that's obsessed with the Beatles. I mean, they're great. They're that great. Look, I can't even get a frame that's the same size as all the other ones for the Beatles albums. Anyway, I think I've said all I've got to say here, so shall we go into the track-by-track review? I think we should. It opens with the opening track, funnily enough, which is When Winter Comes Around. This is an acoustic ballad, and the song, it's beautifully warm. It's a very warm-sounding song, and acoustic ballads normally are. And the harmonies, they are out of this world. You're going to hear that a lot in this video, for the record. But the harmonies, yeah, they are something else. Absolutely incredible. I love them. The way that Michael and Brian harmonise with each other is just, it's beautiful. And from what I understand, the way they record as well, they don't do like most modern artists and use computers and stuff just to cheat. They do it the old-fashioned way. So firstly, they record onto analog tape, which is a very expensive way of doing it. But it gives it a more warmer sound, and the harmonies, they build up. So they will literally record harmonies and harmonies and harmonies on top of themselves, as opposed to just effectively using a computer, I think, to copy and paste the backing vocals and the harmonies. Not that many people do harmonise with each other these days. The lyrics on this song as well, they're fabulous. You know, just give them a listen. It's another reason I've got this out, so I can look at the lyrics, because I don't know them off the top of my head yet. There's a voice that divides the flame, sends it back from where it came to the cradle of its birth. Grief has consumed our eyes and filled our bed with lies, like soil fills the earth, abandoned, denied, like a dead man out of mind. No one trails the hearse. There's a voice divides the flame, sends it back from where it came to the cradle of its birth. Poetry, innit? It's poetry. This song as well, it's got kind of a bit of a Wings sound to it. I would say kind of like the London Town era of Wings. Sort of like the acoustic-y ballads that were on that album. It's obviously also got a bit of Simon and Garfunkel in there, a bit of like Bridge Over Troubled Water, that album kind of vibe to it. Yeah, brilliant opening track. When Winter Comes Around, good song. Right, second track, In My Head. This is a more upbeat sort of pop, 60s pop song. It's a fantastically catchy tune. I wrote here that it reminds me of Help by the Beatles in some ways. Not in the actual sound or anything like that, but in the style that this song sounds like. The lyrics, they're quite dark lyrics. They're sort of about, I think they're about depression and battles with depression in your own head by the sounds of them. But they've done like what the Beatles did with Help, and they've sort of disguised it as a pop song. So unless you properly listen to the lyrics, you probably won't realise that it's actually quite a serious, dark subject matter that's going on here. The harmonies on here, they're very Beach Boys sounding. They're very, yeah, if you like the Beach Boys and their sort of harmonies, you'll like this song. The guitars, I think on this song they're using a 12-string electric, 12-string Rickenbacker. Sounds like it because it gives it that very jangly 60s sounding pop music thing, which I absolutely love. It's kind of like the Byrds kind of style of guitar. Yeah. Bass on it as well, it's very melodic. It's very McCartney sounding in the sense that it's not, it's like a guitarist, a lead guitarist or a rhythm guitarist playing a bass, which is what Paul McCartney effectively is. Yeah, you can tell they like the Beatles, put it that way. Right, track 3, Corner of My Eye. This for me is the best song on the album. This is my favourite song on the album. At the minute, I cannot stop listening to this song. Like, today alone I must have listened to this song 20, 30 times. That is how much I like this song. I can't get it out of my head. Even just talking about it now, I can hear it in my head. And when I got you in the corner of my eye. Sorry, I can't sing. Anyway, the vocals on this song, once again, they're very beautiful, as are the harmonies. It's very Beach Boys sounding, especially when... Now, I don't know which brother's which when it comes to singing yet, because I'm not familiar enough with them. But one of them is doing like a falsetto kind of thing, which is very Brian Wilson, Carl Wilson sounding. You know, kind of a bit God only knows kind of falsetto sort of thing. Yeah, the chorus. I love the chorus. The lyrics on the chorus as well. What is it? If I find it on here. But when I've got you in the corner of my eye, all my moments are the same when day or night. I saw you twice before, now I really want to see you more. I mean, they're simple lyrics, but they're powerful lyrics. I mean, it's brilliant. And the way they're sung, yeah, it's fantastic. Melody is beautiful. The acoustic guitars throughout this song, it's very dreamy. The production is very dreamy. The video, I watched the music video of it last night. I've watched it a few times since. It's very 60s. It's with the way they're dressed, the way they're playing the guitars, the way they're standing with their hair and everything. Yeah, I love it. I love the song, man. And obviously, I've never seen the Lemon Twigs live. And next time they are here in the UK, I will be going to see them. I do not care where in the country they are. I do not care if I have no one to go with. I will, if I have to, go down to London. I'll go to Southampton if I have to. I'll go to Luton. Actually, no, I won't go to Luton to see them. I'm not that desperate. No offence to people of Luton. It's a shithole. No, in all seriousness, wherever they are, hopefully it'll be Newcastle or Manchester or Glasgow or something. I will go and see them, and I'll go on my own because I want to see them live. I want to see, even if I just get to see this one song live, it would be brilliant. Yeah, Corner of My Eye. If you've not, listen to it. Just listen to it. It's a great song. It's a beautiful song. Right, track 4, we have Any Time of Day. Again, I love this song. It's a bit of a trend going on here, ain't there? The chorus on this one, it sounds very Bee Gees. It reminds me very much of Massachusetts, which is a really early Bee Gees song. I think it was a #1 single in, was it 67 or something like then, when it came out? But yeah, the chorus of this is very similar to Massachusetts. Again, melody's fantastic. The guitar and bass, they're very fabulous. I don't think I said, but the band, the brothers themselves, Michael and Brian, play virtually... they play virtually every instrument on here. Yeah, looks like they do. Yeah, so they're playing virtually everything. So they're obviously very talented guys when, they're just talented. And they've got obscure instruments like Corner of My Eye, going back to that. Pretty sure it's got a xylophone on it, or a marimba, or whatever the hell the correct name is for it. Sort of playing along. It's very nice, very good. I like it. I love the chorus, back onto Any Time of Day. I love the chorus of this song. The production, it's just it is a masterclass in 60s pop songs, this. Yeah. It's a travesty that they are not a bigger band than what they are, because, you know, I've only been listening to them for a week and a half, and I can easily say these are the best band in the world at the minute. You know, I'm a huge fan of Blossoms, and I've always said Blossoms are the best band in the world at the minute, but I gotta say, I think the Lemon Twigs are better, personally. They're just, yeah, brilliant. Track 5, What You Were Doing. This one's a bit more of a rocker. The 12, I think I'm making assumptions here, the 12-string Rickenbacker guitar is back, giving it that 60s jangly pop song vibe, sort of akin to the Byrds. Great. Vocals and harmonies, again, they're great on this one. It's kind of got a bit of a mid-period Beatles sound to this one, sort of Rubber Soul era, kind of like You Won't See Me, Nowhere Man, that kind of thing. Yeah, great song. Guitar solo in the outro as well. It's fab. There's not many guitar solos, I don't think, on this album, but yeah, I don't know why I'm looking on here as if it's going to tell me there's a guitar solo, but yeah. Track 6, we have I Don't Belong to Me. This is predominantly a piano ballad, and it's very Brian Wilson sounding. If this song was on Pet Sounds, it would not sound out of place. It just sounds like a song that's been left on the cutting room floor from Pet Sounds. And if you closed your eyes, it could be Brian Wilson singing it. Yeah. Again, the harmonies, fantastic. We've lost in contemporary music harmonies. No one does harmonies properly anymore. You know, and you don't realise it until you go back and you listen to this. Or listen to older albums, but listen to this and it's contemporary. It is a contemporary album, and they're doing harmonies like people used to in the old days. And why are other people not doing this anymore? I mean, Dua Lipa, for example. I'm just picking on people now. Someone sent me one of her songs the other day, and I was looking at it, and like 10, 11 people have wrote it, and it's like, what? You know, every track on this album, the two brothers have just wrote it. Michael and Brian have wrote it all themselves, and it's better than anything that those 10 songwriters can do for Dua Lipa. It's utterly ridiculous, really, that the music industry has completely broken itself. Anyway, I Don't Belong to Me, back to that. Dark lyrics. Sounds like a bit of an existential crisis. I can never say that. Crisis, where you know what I mean, is going on here. It's a subtle French horn solo in the middle as well. French horn, of course. You know, that's a bit Beatlesy. Beatles use French horns on For No One. Which, yeah, this is maybe kind of a bit similar to that. I Don't Belong to Me, I'm just looking at the lyrics. And water fills my lungs, and I can't even breathe. You don't belong to you, I don't belong to me. Every single day I'm a little tired, so I try and force it down, get inspired, but I don't think that it's working, 'cause now things aren't much fun. Things just aren't much fun. It sounds like a really dark album when you read these lyrics, but it's not. It's really not. Speaking of darkness, track 7. Every day is the worst day of my life. Basically, the lyrics on this song are just that. They just keep singing, every day is the worst day of my life. It's just that. But the melody, guess what I'm going to say? The melody is beautiful. It's predominantly just an acoustic guitar on this song, and it's brilliant. It's a fantastic melody. And the melody, it makes up for the lack of lyrics. You know, you don't need to have a load of complicated lyrics if you've got a beautiful melody to go with it. To compensate, I should say. Even though there isn't that many lyrics, the lyrics that are there kind of just get the point across. If you just keep saying every day is the worst day of my life, it kind of, you know, I mean, I can assume what the song is about from that. I don't have to be some artistical genius to subtract the meaning from the lyrics. I can kind of guess where they're coming from. They're depressed. Yeah, harmonies, guess what? Brilliant. So yeah, Every Day is the Worst Day of My Life. It's interesting they made that one a single. Anyway, I think that ends side 1. Yeah, it does. So, side 2, my friends, opens with What Happens to a Heart. This song, again, it's very Beatles sounding, kind of Paul McCartney sounding. There's orchestration on this tune, not like a full-blown orchestra, but the album does have like violins and cellos and stuff like that on it. Yeah, really good. The intro on this, it just sounds like a full-scale, brilliant production. Do 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 do. That's basically what the intro is. It's brilliant. And guess what? The harmonies are fab. Melody as well, it's equally great. It's one of my favourites on the album, and the lyrics are equally great. So you know what that means? It's time to pull this up and read the lyrics. Right, where are we up to? What Happens to a Heart? I could stay at home, but I can't be alone. Through darkness will I roam forever. I walk the streets to find a dream to stand behind, but all I see are tangled troubles I can't unbind. Now I know what happens to a heart when it's all it ever does is... Now I know what happens to a heart when all it ever does is hurt. It wants a chance to step out of the dark, but ends up buried in the dirt. Ooh. Yeah, great lyrics, aren't they? I mean, it's a great song. Right, track 9, Still It's Not Enough. Again, we're here with an acoustic ballad. Vocals are beautiful. They start quite quiet. The song starts quiet and then it gradually gets a bit louder. So, yeah, dark lyrics again. There's subtle orchestration on this song, but it's really good orchestration. I'll have a look at some of the lyrics on this one as well. Everything goes on and 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 on. Better ones than that. In my dreams, I'm a star and I own the whole building. Nothing was ever enough in the streets, in the bar. I'm the heavyweight champion, still it's not enough. That's a brilliant lyric because it's like in your head you are the bee's knees, but in reality, you know, anxieties and stuff stop you from being that. So yeah, Still It's Not Enough, great tune. Track 10, Born to Be Lonely. My second favourite song on the album. If it wasn't for Corner of My Eye, this would be my favourite. Hence why it's second favourite. Beautiful first verse. The first verse, it's very bare. It's just an acoustic guitar and the vocals. But then on the second verse, the drums kick in and the production gradually builds up and up and up. The chorus is a waltz, and I love it. I love a waltz. It just makes me want to find someone to waltz with. There's a thought of me doing the waltz. Orchestration on this album, it's brilliant. On this song, sorry, is brilliant. And the whole tone of it, I love how like it'll go from the verses into the chorus, which is a waltz, and then it'll go back to the style of the verse, and then it'll go back into the waltz and all that sort of thing. Gonna read you some lyrics, folks, because they're great. I wasn't only born to... This is the chorus. I wasn't only born to be lonely. I need a new love to keep me alive. No use in crying out. Now I am finding out. Show me a true heart. Give me a sign. It's great. It's just a great song. The outro as well, when it sort of gets towards the end, it goes kind of back to how it was at the start, where it's just an acoustic guitar, and I think there's a piano as well in the outro, and it goes very much like a stripped back final verse, which is very nice. It's a nice way for it to end. Yeah, Born to Be Lonely, great song. I can't believe it wasn't a single. I didn't say it was. It's not a single, is it? No. I don't know why it wasn't a single, because in my opinion, it would have been a better single than Every Day is the Worst Day of My Life, but there we go. Right, track 11, Ghost Run 3. We're back to a bit more of a rocker here. The 12-string Rickenbacker guitar is back, I think. Once again, it's giving it that 60s jangly sound, like the Birds sort of thing. I wrote that here, actually. It's very Beatles, Birds sounding. This song, harmonies again, they're on point, but it kind of goes without saying. Great melody. I mean, what a band, what a duo. I mean, I know I keep saying it, but why are they not more famous than what they are? Can you tell I love this album? I'm so pleased I found it. Yeah, Ghost Run Free, great song. Right, track 12, we have the title track, Everything Harmony. It starts with an organ, literally just in the intro, and then the organ goes away, and then it's piano. Very Beach Boys sounding, this song. Very Brian Wilson sounding. There's orchestration on the song. It's very nice. It's not my favourite song on the album. If I had to pick a least favourite, it would probably be this one for me personally. But it's not a bad song. It's still a good song, which kind of says a lot about the quality, that even what is the weakest track on the album, in my opinion, which interestingly they've made the title, is still a brilliant song. Right, track 13, we have the closing track, New to Me. We're back with an acoustic ballad. Very McCartney sounding, this song. It does sound very, like, it just stinks of Paul McCartney. Harmonies, guess what? They're beautiful. It's a brilliant song. The vocals as well, they kind of sound a bit in the, like Brian Wilson, Carl Wilson, that kind of falsetto thing that the two of them could do. One of the lyrics, where is it? Don't try and make me see we can fall in love again. That is the last lyric on the album. I just think that's a brilliant lyric. We can fall in love again. You know, it's just, yeah, great. So it's a great song to finish the album. It is an absolutely beautiful song. This song is, you know, it's why I love music. It's what's brilliant about music. In fact, I mentioned, when I mentioned Elliot Roberts' video before, I'm sure he said in his video that, to him, this album, it was like falling in love with music again. And I completely get what he means. Not that I've fallen out of love with music, but this album, it did make me feel like, it does make me feel like I'm falling in love with music all over again. It is precisely why I love music. It is a brilliant album. Honest to God, if you haven't heard this album, please, 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 I implore you, give it a listen. Yeah, like I say, they've got another album coming out in May, and I will be 100% picking that up and giving that a listen. The two singles that have come out from that so far are brilliant. I am going to go back and listen to their other albums as well, because if they're anything like this, then yeah. So, Everything Harmony, the Lemon Twigs. Basically listen to it if you haven't, and if you have listened to it, what's your favourite song on it? But I think that's all I've got to say for now, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon for another video. Goodbye.